you would ask, was it a success or was it not? Talk to any POW, and I think Lee will vouch for this, that the Son Tay Raid was a great success for the improved conditions of the POWs.
The Bin Laden raid was similar in that they crashed into the compound. One thing you guys all ought to know is that the Son Tay Raid has been the model for raids ever since. It has been the model of how to pull off a raid because it was so well planned and so well executed, so well prepared for, that it's just been a helpful model along the way.
Bull Simons was a very direct individual. He was looking for people for a moderately hazardous mission, he claimed, and we would be back probably by December. Our colonel called me in one day and said, pack my bag, that I was going to be on a mission. And so got pretty excited about that, came back to Bragg, did all the paperwork, got our shots and everything. And I had been on a couple of training missions before, but I'd never had to make out our will. And on this one, we had to make our will out, which I should have thought at the time, maybe that should have been an indication this is more than moderately hazardous. When they went through the process of interviewing everyone, they selected 109 of us. And out of that 109, 56 actually were on the mission on the ground. We had no idea what we were going to really be doing. We felt it was some type of rescue, but we really had no idea where or who.
And so I'd spent the first 8 months in the Hanoi Hilton, and then they moved about 53, 55 of us, it varied, but roughly about that number out to Son Tay. They had blocked up, actually bricked up with mortar and bricks, bricked up all our windows so we couldn't see out, because they did not want us to communicate. They didn't want us to know that anybody else was even there. Of course, we had covert communication, and we would take great risks to stay connected. Well, to respond, they started torturing guys to sign a short one-page statement saying that they had received good treatment. And so they'd gone through the summer of '69 while the US was landing guys on the moon. We were in a fight for our lives over there.
And that's when Bull Simons told us where we were going to do tonight. And it got dead silent in that auditorium for about 5 seconds. And then the roof went off and people were jumping up and saying, let's go get them. I mean, we were excited about the opportunity to go free our fellow warriors. But because we had practiced this so many times and rehearsed it over 170 times, everybody knew exactly what it was going to do. When we got to the communications building, that's about the time we heard that there was negative items, which items meant code word for POWs.
And what happened though was the next day, the look on the guards' faces was one of fear. And within 48 hours, they had moved us all back to Hanoi, to the Hanoi Hilton. In probably January, so February, there was some bombing up there again, just a little bit. And some guys were captured and they came in and they said, well, did you hear about the raid? And we said, well, what was the raid? And they said they raided Son Tay. When? Well, that was like November the 21st. Oh, that's what that was. That's why we moved. So then we understood what had happened. And it really helped us survive those last few years and come home in a mentally good place.
One of them, before Dan Turner passed away, I asked him why he selected me as his RTO. And the one thing he told me, he said, whatever we asked you to do, you did it with a smile on your face, and there was no, oh man, I got to do that. And your attitude is as important as anything.
I think for me, just thinking about what you're talking about, I learned to do anything, okay? In a POW camp, you never know what you're going to have to do. You might be washing the dishes, you might be sweeping the floor, you might be cleaning the crapper, okay? And so we all had to do it or empty the bucket. In our 6.5 by 7 foot cell, we had probably about a 3 or 4 gallon bucket in our cell, and thank goodness it had lid. That was our toilet, and you had to empty it every morning. So, you know, you just learn to do anything, and whatever you do, you just learn this part of life. Just go do it and do it the best you can.
That's a part of what life is. You have to face what you can do a good job. If you can't, learn it. Knowing it wasn't until years later at some of our reunions we realized what the Son Tay Raid meant to the POWs. Not only did it help, it just gave them confidence that this country cared about them.